Mike, turn your games down.
Hi everybody, welcome to our movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's just a ghost in a shell with me tonight?
I am Joe Butler, and I may or may not be a robot in disguise?
Question mark. And a semi-tired King Kuma.
I'm John.
And I'm Jordan, who's looking forward to this, because, man, there's a lot you can talk about and still, leave thinking about.
Oh, yeah. It's Ghost in the Shell. There's a lot you can talk about.
And are you guys ready to explain the movie to me? Because I didn't understand it after watching it 1.5 times.
God damn it.
No.
No. That's totally fair, though. That's the thing.
That happens. It's the thing that
Ghost in
happens.
the Shell is one of those things you have to, have a lot of experience with before you start to understand it, I feel.
It's definitely fun to watch at least once. It will leave you confused, but at least it's not like a terrible, first time watch kind of thing.
No, even if you don't understand what's going on, it's still a good time. It's still entertaining.
It's pretty, yes.
Yeah.
So we are here to talk about Ghost in the Shell. It's a 1995 film directed by Mamoru Oshii, screenplay by Kazunori Ito, based on Ghost in the Shell by Masamune Shirow, and came out in 1995. Oh, this movie made a lot of money too.
It came out in 1995. What year does the story take place?
It's
2029?
2029. We're 3 years. We're 3 years from having robot bodies.
I think it was on the 20.
To be fair, I've always said if I didn't have to deal with all the dang biological concepts of my body, I'd be happy.
Same. I would sign up. I have made this joke before, but if they had technology where it was safe to make me part cyborg, I'd fucking do it. Okay, sure.
Yeah, if I could afford it, I'd be down.
And even so, people don't have to be cyborgs in this world, but they still have what's called a cyber brain. And this is one of those things where you have to know more about the world or learn stuff about that, how it works. But it just basically means everyone's connected to the internet, Wi-Fi all the time without a phone. It's just part of their brain.
Man, that sounds awesome.
It's also very terrifying because that means people can hack into your own mind.
I've watched so much Ghost in the Shell, and the cyber brains still, I don't understand them. I don't understand because you see the majors in other things of it's a robot brain, but you see her get shot in the head. You see that her body get destroyed and she comes back. So is there another brain somewhere else? It's confused me.
I think specifically in this movie as well, she gets shot, but her brain case doesn't get destroyed, so her brain doesn't get damaged. And a lot of the times when they show I know in the TV series, in the comic and stuff like that, where they show her definitely getting a headshot and supposedly being dead, was her actually puppeteering it from a distance. So her actual brain was somewhere else. So there's
complex. She gets her head blown off and she's alive.
It's still understood that as you're human, if you have a brain, if the brain dies, then that's bad and you're dead. But there's ways around it if you're careful.
And there's also the philosophical question of
oh yes,
so if your memories and stuff get copied, your ghost also gets copied to this new brain, but it could be degraded, and it's just so many questions.
And Shiro loves going into that in the comics, in the TV series and stuff like that. He loves playing that philosophical, which is also kind of touched on quite a few times in the thing too. What exactly one of the things I love about this movie is it's just basically what is the line between human and machine. What are you what makes you an actual human, and what makes a machine of memories and working autonomously a human.
And that right there is the overarching theme of the entire movie.
Yeah.
I want to go to memories. I have never seen this movie before, and apparently never seen anything about Ghost in the Shell before besides the Scarlett Johansson movie.
Really?
Oh god.
How is that possible?
Never seen the anime, nothing. I realized that after watching this.
But you didn't know it
That's the only
existed?
thing I have never seen this
existed.
Scarlett Johansson movie.
Never seen it. So yeah, this is my first time watching. But I'm that's one reason why this is here, because I need to watch more classic anime.
And this is definitely up there with classics kind of thing.
Yeah. So
and it's actually
like throughout the years, this has been talked about so heavily that back in the day, I had to. This is one of those must-watch anime for me, and then that's what I did.
The way I have like always explained this movie to a lot of people is like Ghost in the Shell is the Matrix before the Matrix. It's what the Matrix
Very
turned
true.
like the cultural phenomenon that it became. It is like Ghost in the Shell is the Matrix before the Matrix.
Yeah, like it definitely wants you to think of the philosophical questions Matrix brought you up in the backdrop of what's going on in the film itself too, which is kind of funny because there is an actual like a storyline that's concurrent that isn't just the philosophical questions going on, but that's just because it's also a lot of politics, and that can get messy.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe, as our resident anime expert, what's your history with this movie?
All right, so this one's gonna be pretty quick. I've also never seen this, and I've never seen the anime. You see, when I was a young boy, I was very picky about stuff I watched, and usually if no one recommended it to me, I wouldn't watch it. I also had this really dumb thing where I wouldn't watch anything too seriously. So like I've never seen weird shift around, but like I've never seen the entire Justice League cartoon show because I always thought it was boring. But yeah, I've never seen this. I never watched this. This is my first time watching it.
Wow.
And
Wouldn't have guessed.
Me either.
Was this my idea?
No, this was just an idea where I had texted you like months ago back in like October. I was like, hey, we should do this on one of these days. And then you had to work, and then it's just been on my list to do it.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's been on my list too, so there we go.
Because, that shitty job you have.
Yeah.
Rich.
Like I stated earlier, it's just, something that was talked about heavily throughout the years, and eventually I knew how to get to it. So I watched it. I can tell you probably when that was. I watched 2.0 also around the time when that came out. And then I haven't not seen this since probably 2.0 came out. And watching it now today, it felt like I just remember enjoying it back then. But watching it today, it felt almost like a different movie to me in a sense. Maybe just because it's been so long, or maybe just because I paid attention a hell of a lot more to what was going on. But it did feel a little bit different, and that's not a bad thing at all.
And John.
So my actual first exposure to Ghost in the Shell was the Standalone Complex, the show, the anime. I probably watched this movie. It was whenever the original Blu-ray version came out. I think it was probably like 2013, 2014, something like that was the first time I ever watched this. But I've seen Standalone Complex. I've seen the Arise movies. I've seen Ghost in the Shell 2045. I've pretty much seen everything Ghost in the Shell except for the Scarlett Johansson movie. And I plan to keep it that way.
And Jordan.
Oh, there's kind of a lot of things nebulous with this. I grew up like when the wave of like anime movies were just starting to get big. Like I think it's some people might call it like a third wave because like Gigantor would be like the actual first wave, and Urusei Yatsura and some of that stuff is like a second wave kind of thing when that started coming to the States. I don't know. Like I'm just spitballing, but I have like one of the first DVDs that came out. In fact, it even says like, this is a great masterpiece to watch on your digital video disc. It's one of the first things, and this is like what big time, like when DVDs were being put out, like these are the kinds of films you want on DVD. And I remember watching it, and yeah, the first time I watched it, I didn't have like a very grasp of what the story was, but I was seeing, it was like, oh, this is kind of like artwork, kind of thing. Like this is like, you see it and you're like, this is supposed to be art, and you kind of get the feeling they were trying for art, and this is like, oh, this is what, like what animes can be, which also kind of was like, back then was still treading the waters in the North America and stuff like that, because, like, oh my God, she's naked in the movie. It's a cartoon. Why is a kid's cartoon being naked and stuff like that? And that old chestnut with anime that's been around for ages. But yeah, I like watched it and I was like really impressed, and I'm like, wow, these things can be like thought provoking, can be like an actual art form. This is great. And ever since then, like, I've just kept my eyes out. I've kept learning more about it. Like I found a comic for this and doing comparisons and stuff like that. I remember going to an anime convention and seeing the first fan dubs of Standalone Complex before they even put it on Adult Swim, and I'm like, wow, they're following, like they've done a new version that's like even like more in line with the comics and stuff like that. So Ghost in the Shell has just been like one of those anime series that I've always kept an eye on, but I always forget to talk about. But when you get me talking, it can go on for a while.
All right. I mean, no, as a guy who's never experienced anything of this stuff before, like, this movie is very pretty. Like, I was impressed with the detail in the art. This is from 95, and, like, I was impressed. Like, it still looks really damn good. Even though I didn't completely understand what's happening, I still enjoyed what I was watching.
Oh man, I can't wait to go to GameStop and pick up Ghost in the Shell on the UMD for my PSP.
It was on there, wasn't it?
It was on there,
It
yes.
was. I mean, they've had at least 3 or 4 games tried to be made of it. There's one on the PS1. I can't remember what the later ones, like later PS.
There's one on the PS2, I know, and then wasn't there kind of like an online MMO for a little bit or something?
It was like a sports arena kind of thing where you got to play things where, like, it was mostly just like kind of TF2-ish, capture the point, defend the point. At certain points, you got to get it, and it was mostly based off of a TV series at the time because you got to use like a Tachikoma think tank to fight areas at times.
You're saying words that don't make sense to me, but that's fine. So we should do a plot summary. Joe, do you have one by any chance?
Otherwise,
I'll do it. I just thought, okay.
Yeah, you do it. I don't have one prepared.
So welcome to the year 2029. And we're following some woman who's partly robot, and she's hunting someone else named the Puppet Master. There's your plot. Really, that's all I got. I got nothing.
Okay,
I
hold
mean,
on. Let me wing this real quick. Hold on.
I know it was bad. Sorry, Ken.
Give me a second. You should have told me you didn't have one ready, and I would have fucking whiffed this.
I thought about it, and then I took a nap.
All right.
I didn't do it.
This is not AI. I'm already pulling this out of my ass. Secret Agent Makoto Kusanagi, also known as the Major by Section 9, is put onto a mission where she's looking for the mysterious and wanted #1 criminal Puppet Master. Will she be able to figure out who is giving people fake memories with these oncoming crimes, or will she simply be stuck as a ghost in the shell?
Thank you. That was decent.
That's a great background, like on the back of a box kind of explanation.
So
Yeah,
now
I always try to fit the title. I always try to fit a title in there every one of these because I'm stupid.
No, you're not. That's the right way to do it. I mean, I do that with stuff too. This is one of those movies where, like, I watched it, and then I watched 2 YouTube videos explaining it. I liked it, but I still don't know what the fuck was happening completely. Like, I was watching this again before I ended up taking a nap with Tiff because she was going to try to join us, and, like, we got midway through this movie, and I still don't really understand what was going on.
It's okay. We'll start this off with the main thing that I have with the main issue that I have, which shouldn't be an issue at all, which is going to prove my main point. Mike, you've only seen the Scarlett Johansson movie, right?
Yes, back in theaters.
So you watch the opening to this. She's not Japanese. She's a goddamn robot. She can cast Makoto Kusanagi as fucking anyone.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I know that was a complaint. I remember hearing that, but, like, she's not human, so it doesn't matter because her body is created essentially. So it doesn't matter.
You see her being
is she human?
Probably not.
The funny thing is that even when the movie first came out, there was complaints about her look in the movie because she didn't look like she did in the comics of what Shiro drew her. Like, that was a choice by I think Oshii and some of the animators to make her more androgynous than what she looked like in the comics. So, like, it's kind of funny that, and I mean, you got a very good point, and it is true. Like, I think in the comics they make a very good point that her chassis, like the outward appearance of her, is supposed to look like a common off the rack cyborg because they don't want people to basically try, like, black market parts dealer to grab her off the street and try to strip her of parts.
That makes sense,
even
actually.
See another version of her somewhere else at one point in this too.
Yeah. So
it does follow that idea that she's just which also is not stupid. I mean, people will try to steal shoes off someone sitting on a bench sometimes. They think they're drunk. So, I mean, it makes sense that in this world someone would try to steal a body.
It's just some people are just very concerned about outward appearances sometimes.
I had no problem with it. Like, I like her character in this a lot. I like her design. I mean, this anime, like, what is it? Within, like, the first, like, 5 minutes, you have that murder that when the movie's like, yeah, this we ain't no kids show where they shoot a guy right in the face. Like, it lets you know real fast.
Exploding bullets too. Like, it's not just he's shot with bullets that basically explode his body. Like, they don't want him coming back from that.
Were those the high velocity bullets?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, why is she nude in that opening scene? I was
She's
just
not nude.
wondering.
She's not.
She got
She's wearing
boobies.
full body. She's wearing full body camo.
It's like a super skin tight suit. It's how they do the camouflage in this.
Okay.
Which
for
is
some reason.
And just another small difference from the comic from the thing is that apparently in the comic that thermomic stuff doesn't matter if you have clothes on it. I mean, they're tight clothing, but they can still wear clothing. Just they decide, and I'm guessing it's just to kind of show and probably to make it a little bit easier to animate some of the scenes with the thermoptic. They just made it like either a very thin suit or just make it basically look like she's practically naked when she's using it.
Okay.
Which I mean, I can understand, like especially in '95, how it might be really hard to show some of the tricks they do animation wise or what they're trying to show, where the camouflage is supposed to literally just be projecting the image of the world around them.
I don't know. I also kind of am like, I know she's half naked, but I'm also low key kind of a fan of her what is it? Her like battle outfit where she's wearing like the suit underneath and she's wearing like the bulletproof vest and like the knee-high white boots. That's also a really good look too. And the goggles.
Yeah.
I love the goggles.
Her look in Standalone Complex is like probably my favorite look the character's ever had.
It's very different. Hold on, because I need to show that too. Because it's very different look. Keep going.
I mean, I like the camouflage a lot. Like, I was thinking about, like, man, that must have been hard to animate. Like, because this is hand-drawn animation, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So, I mean, that's impressive right there. Like, good job, guys. It made me think of Solid Snake, too, from Metal Gear Solid 2.
Obviously.
Especially when they're running with, like, the guys like the coat on, I immediately thought of that scene from that bridge. I'm like, so that's where Kojima got the idea from.
Oh, yeah, I totally wouldn't surprise me at all.
Oh, well, yeah.
I was going to say, Masamune Shirow's like comics and work has influenced a lot of people a lot of times. You talk to like game developers and other movie people, they will cite him as for like just for artistic style as well as just some of the themes and stuff they do, especially if you've got a cyberpunk flair. Like a lot of people will look to these series. In fact, I think I just saw, and just funny because I sometimes browse it, is on TikTok with someone talking about how it is kind of Shiro's fault that we have have cat girls in anime, because one of his shows was like the first thing that had the cat girl in it with Anapuma and Unipuma from Dominion Tank Police.
No idea what that is, but maybe I should check it out.
It's a lot of things. I think if you just look up the Puma sisters and Masamune Shiro, you'll get a picture of them. They look nothing like what cat girls probably look like today, but it's just kind of funny that they were like one of the first out there. And funny enough, they're robots too. Like they're robots that made look like that. Like they're not actual like cat girls. They're just robots that made to look like girls with cat ears.
We would do that. When the technology gets there, we would do that. Humans would do that. There's no question there. I played Detroit Become Human, yeah. We would have that. No problem.
The comic has that a lot too, like just showing people where they straight up just have robots that they have custom made to be their fantasies. It's hilarious sometimes.
That's why, spoilers, but at the end of the movie, that's why he says he bought a child doll off of the black market.
Yeah, and not his taste, because he had to specify that, no, I didn't buy it because this is what I want.
I had to buy it because it was on sale.
Wonder if he got that from a certain island.
I mean, it would be there.
Speaking of that too, one thing you guys probably noticed, but Mike probably was like to notice too. Japan is not afraid to talk about how much they hate their government, like specifically in media and stuff, like especially popular media. They will straight up be like, our government fucking sucks. But that's because they've been known to be like, hey, this guy sucks, and then like openly execute his ass.
Yeah, I wish other countries did that too.
I wish other countries did that too.
Hey, like England said it best recently. They're like, we arrest our pedophiles, and I was like, you're right, you do. Oh yes,
and
that's
Japan has come a long way when they used to treat their emperor like a god.
Yeah, that didn't work. Well, I mean, but then when the emperor, the god, didn't stop the bomb, I think he lost god status.
I don't know if I believe that after all the stuff with the writer of Rurouni Kenshin, of like the dude got caught with a bunch of stuff. And they like, I've always thought Japan was one of those of like, if you get caught with like an ounce of drugs, they will erase you from the planet. But you little kid, you're fine.
Yeah, it's only certain. I don't want to actually get into it.
That's
a different conversation.
Yeah, there's some things that it does seem that they'll let slip under the rug, but
and in the Ghost in the Shell world, like I'm assuming it's the same in this of like Japan is kind of one of the only countries that is still kind of active. Like a lot of other countries have had wars. There's been like 2 world wars in this world, more than we've had. There's been wars all over the planet. And Japan is kind of like one of the countries that's still together.
Yeah, in the comics, they kind of hint at it that there's at least been 4 world wars, I believe. So there's been a 4th.
Almost there.
Which probably means that there's been some nuclear devastation. But I was rereading the comic actually recently because I got, because of this. They have what's called the EC, which is like, I think it's supposed to be the ECU, what the ECU is now. Like, so they have a European coalition. There's America's like has their own like little coalition, and there's still Russia. Like those 4 are still there along with China. Like those all still exist. And even if there's like the EC as a group still exists, like countries like Germany and France and the UK also still kind of work within that EC. So like they still have their individuality there. They're not just one overreaching colony kind of group thing there still.
Interesting world for sure. And I really appreciate it. You got like this movie, like she's part of like the, like a government agency. I mean, I was confused at times with it because like the villain is another government agency, which makes complete sense. And no surprise there. But like I was just confused for a bit, like because they made the puppet master, correct? Like the whole villain of this movie that she's hunting was created by the government.
Yeah.
It was U.S., wasn't it? Was it U.S. and Japan?
Well,
Section 6 was it not? Sector 6 or whatever it's called.
It was a kind of a joint thing where Section 6 got American programmers and other people to help them create this thing.
Okay.
So it's like multiple governments working together under wraps, and which is kind of funny because public security Section 9 that she's part of is also kind of under the books. They're literally like the Wet Works Black Ops group. Like that's their major thing is that they are counterterrorism, and they mean finally dealing with the terrorists. Not that this isn't. They aren't the type to go in and resting. They are there to take care and bring down terrorists.
Section 9 is like they get to go in under the radar, and if you're in their way, they will get through you by any means necessary, and they have the authority to do it. I think it's the only person who can have any control over them is the prime minister.
Crazy. Yeah, because they're obviously not the police, because you even have a moment where they're talking about the guy, which is also a thing. So I know we're talking about how the invisible thing was Metal Gear. Do you not know what Snatcher is?
I do. It's actually on this podcast too, by the way.
Oh, okay, yes. Snatcher is fucking
old ass episode.
Yeah, is just fucking this too, and it has my favorite reference, which is guy who uses gun that people make fun of because it uses real bullets.
Yeah,
man, who would use a gun with real bullets in any type of fantasy setting, right? Like when you have Power Ranger weapons, who would use a revolver, right?
Are you thinking of Snatcher or Police Knots? Police Knots has that too.
I said Snatcher. I'm thinking of Police Knot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never played Police.
Yeah. So like Togusa is very he is the only fully human member of Section 9 except for the chief, and that's like a thing for his character throughout the entire franchise, basically.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the human lens for a lot of stuff, so they use him for a lot of times. And again, to say, it's scary. He still has a cyber brain, so there's still like we still they don't explain it very well how it works, but so like he still can connect to the internet and stuff like that, but he still has to do probably a little bit more, and usually he has to do like the chief you see sometimes would like put. I'm not sure if you catch it in the movie, but in like the show, he wears like a collar that's basically supposed to be a protection barrier because they are fully human except for the brain. They don't have like built-in things to protect them like full cyborgs like Makoto or Bato do.
And that's why Togusa uses a revolver, because if his gun jams, he can't just go tank somebody like the rest of them can. So that's why he sticks with a revolver. So he doesn't ever have to worry about his gun jamming, and he can reload it like ridiculously quick.
So I don't think they presented one unaltered human in this entire movie. Is that right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, Togusa is
the guy that's human.
Yeah,
has one part that isn't.
Yeah, he still technically has the cyber brain thing, which is ubiquitous in. I think they've mentioned that it's not like Japan's the only place where everyone has it, like in general, and it might not be as common as in some of the other countries, but it's still kind of a thing where it's understood to be pretty much the standard is that usually people have it in some way, like how pretty much everyone now has a smartphone these days, or at least some form of being able to connect to a global Wi-Fi as long as they can get the signal.
Yeah, I honestly like the idea of being set up to the internet at all times, but then again, I am a weird person, so. But I've always thought, like, man, that'd be cool.
Imagine the internet issues you have currently, and then that always being a part of you. I don't think that'd be great for you, Mike.
No, but I'd still take it. So, I mean, I've said to Tiff multiple times, like, I wish I could, like, my eyes, if I could get rid of them and change them out, and then I could just take pictures, like, just click on, like, touch the side of my face and take a picture of whatever I saw with my eyes.
Actually, Material point out that the reason Bato's eyes are like that is because they're specially made for the Ranger work that he did before he joined Section 9. So, yeah, he has custom eyes.
Would you have those customized, Mike? The little bottle cap eyes?
I mean, they're ugly, but yeah, I would. I mean, I've joked about this, but I mean it. Like, if it was a safe procedure and it was a normal thing, help 100% redoing my eyes. I could, like, zoom in on stuff. 100%. Take my eyes.
I think the only modifications, the initial modifications you'd get would be whatever makes it easier for you to edit podcasts at all times.
I mean, if I could just, like, pull up data while I'm sitting around somewhere and, I mean, man, like...
See what I'm saying?
Multitask? 100%.
I am willing to go full Metal Gear Revengeance, rising robot man with great ass and high heels. Trust me.
You can. I mean, hey, I'm not joking. Like, if that ever became a thing, I'd be like, sure, let's start modifying me. Like,
if I got a phone call today saying, "Hey, you want to be a superhero samurai robot?" I would like leave in a heartbeat.
So you're telling the internet how to kidnap you, huh?
You would leave your heartbeat, is what you mean.
Yeah. You'd be leaving it behind, yes.
And there's a scene where, like, she's diving in the ocean where they actually kind of talk about, like, how it is to be full cybernized, too. Because being fully cyber, like, a full cyborg, and she goes diving means that if that pack she wears, that's the only thing that's keeping her alive under the water. Like, if that broke, she would just sink to the bottom. And
well, you see it a couple of times when she lands on top of that roof.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
She weighs like a ton.
Damn, bitch, you heavy.
Yeah. I love those. Like, I caught them much more this watch through than I've done other times. But I love that. Yeah, when she lands on the ground, like, it cracks because she's just. And that time when she's fighting the tank at the end, when she actually pushes her body to the limits, and you see those, like, the muscles rippling and stuff like that. That is like, wow. That is the kind of, like, crazy stuff that you can imagine what a full-on, like, robot human trying to push their limits would do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, he talks about, like, what is it, like, how, you know, you're how we can give ourselves, like, with the cyber brain and stuff like that speeds up even our reaction times and stuff like that, how we can turn ourselves basically better than human. And then she points out, yeah, but we still need maintenance, and that maintenance still costs money. So it's like, yeah, I'm full cyborg. I can do all this crazy stuff, but I still need an engineer at the end of the day to help me take care of some of this stuff.
That's why she said, like,
I'm human and I need a doctor to take care of me. I'll take it. You know, like, I'll take it.
Like, we can never leave Section 9 because they would take the bodies away. They would take away the maintenance. They would take all of it.
And because they're basically the Black Ops, they would have to also try and destroy parts of their memory, which gets into the whole philosophy about, like, you know, what makes you, your memories, your everything like that. And so like, if she wanted true freedom from everything, would she be willing to give up, like, her memory? Would that mean that she would have to give up being herself?
Man, speaking of memory,
yeah.
That scene when that garbage guy, you find out, he's like, yeah, you don't have a wife, you don't have a kid, the picture was a dog, and he's like, what do you mean? Like, oh my God. That's a hard scene when you think about it. Like, that guy had no fucking idea who he was or where he was, and they're like, yeah, it ain't coming back. You're done.
It's such a sucker punch too. And it's funny because the comic has, like, one last panel back where he's basically back on the job working with that person. He's like, oh yeah, now you're not worried about it. And he's like, yeah, like, just drop it. It's doesn't win. Like, I've still got to work. Like it's like yeah, I'm still in a capitalist hell. God, I just had an existential crisis. I'm probably going to be lying awake about this, but damn it, I've still got to take out this garbage.
I mean, that's how it would go. So
Yeah,
How it goes.
it's so terrible.
Yeah.
Honestly, an idea of implanting fake memories, even like things of it being like, hey, did you know you might actually be a terrorist? Is such a really fucked up and interesting concept, though, too. I'm surprised no one has tried to rip it off more.
But it's not even like just implanting memories. It's literally they're almost able to hack their soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that is like a next level kind of screwed up.
it's a
But
cool idea, though. Like,
but it-
I do like it, and I would still put myself on the internet, no question. Just
But
invest in better security.
It's also an interesting thing too, where it's like, okay, so you have a wife and kid, right? What do they look like? How old are they? Like, you start putting more details into it, and then you're like, okay, now it doesn't make sense. So that's always pretty interesting too.
Yeah, but it's the idea, like the same idea. If you're in a cult, you just let things go. You just don't worry about that. Like, well, I don't remember that. Nah, let's not worry about that. Like, so that's kind of like that makes sense too, because your memories are always in general not a trustworthy thing, because memories are always based on your last time you thought about that memory. So the memory is going to be altered as time goes on too. So it makes sense. Like, you're like, yeah, it's I remember it, so it must be true. I get it. I like the idea a lot. I also like the fact that like both him and then that random assassin guy are just normal people that were hacked, correct? Like that assassin guy.
Essentially, yes, yeah.
They're like, yeah, you can't help us. You're a nobody. You're like, you're nothing.
Yeah, he was just some guy on the street that he took out and basically gave a whole new identity to.
Not a bad assassin though, for a nobody.
No, yeah.
Kill anybody, but he tried.
The TV series, I think, kind of goes into it too with some of the interesting things, but it's not just like they put these things into it, and like, you know, you have these false memories and stuff like that. I think some of the even more disturbing things is how they make things that linger that you don't even like, that you can't consciously change even if you know about it. Like, there's an episode where Togusa tries to go undercover into this like thing, and eventually you find out that this is where in their version of the Puppet Master, the Laughing Man actually grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to draw a picture, like a police sketch, just with pencil and paper, tries to draw an image of the one kid because they didn't have any videos or pictures of him. So like, but he knew like he was one of the kids that went missing when the whole thing eventually went down. And so he's like, hey, and he's like, what do you think? I did pretty well. And he shows it up, and it's just the icon Laughing Man thing, like that icon face circle with the thing and stuff like that. Like, he didn't even realize he was doing that. And like, for the first few times he looks at it, to him, he had just drawn that kid's face, and instead he had drawn like a basically a computer made program of what the thing was, and he didn't even realize it. Like,
it's
stuff
a
like
cool
that.
Concept.
It's that you basically it's like he left a program in his brain that no matter what people saw as him, they would only be able to do that.
Well, and even like with the Laughing Man, if anybody who sees him, he instantly hacks his logo over his face, as they're looking at him. So he like instantly hacks like an entire crowd of people at one point. He hacks a news camera, a TV station, like even people watching through like other means. He like far away hacks, like he hacks like thousands of people to replace his face, so nobody knows what his face looks like.
So one thing that also confused me in this movie, you're going to hear that a lot. Like, you see this random like woman that was hacked early in this movie that like was something to do with the president or some diplomatic stuff. She was hacked by the Laughing Man, or by the Puppet Master, correct?
No. Yeah. Well.
Yes.
No. She. That is the Trash Man's wife.
Oh.
Who's
That a wife?
supposed to be
Oh,
his wife.
didn't
Yeah, that's who he was hacked.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what the
Puppet Master set up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Now I understand. And
So, like, it was a Puppet Master's hack, but they did it through a lot of proxies, and that was why the Assassin and Trashman were working together. The Puppet Master basically set it up to do that.
okay, because the Puppet Master that we see in this movie is that half body that they find later on.
Well, he doesn't.
The Puppet
have a
Master was
body.
never a person.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that Megatech model that came from the same, let's say, factory as the main character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Starting to make a little more sense.
Yeah, like I think Ishikawa pointed out when he was doing the breakdown about what Project 2501 was and stuff like that. And even at the very beginning of the movie, when they're talking to that person that's going to defect and Ishikawa pointed out it was a programmer. He even mentions Project 2501, like, so like that's the main through line, but it was just a program that they got together to basically do all this stuff, to be a thing that monitors people's there, and supposedly they could use it to, brain hack people. Like I think Ishikawa was like, how the one guy said, like, oh, I wish I could just use have an incident so I could just deport him or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what they meant. They wanted to create a thing that they could be undetected by everyone else, create problems or do certain things or assassinate things without anyone being able to know about it in any possible way.
That's all in government, all right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like they tried to create like a more personal Skynet.
Yeah.
Oh, who controlled that tank? Because that part confused me. Was that like a government tank that she's fighting from the other part of the government, that Section 6 or whatever the hell that they're against?
Well, you see, Mike, if they can put their body inside of a robot body, why couldn't they put their body inside of a tank?
No, I know, but was it a government that she's fighting, like from Section 6? That didn't...
I think those guys were more mercenaries that were hired by them.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure they were hired by Section 6, but I don't think they were specifically Section 6.
Yeah.
Also, there was a guy in that, like a brain in that tank then too?
There was a dude, like an actual person, because that's who Bato is relaying himself through when the major goes in to talk to the program.
To essentially use him as like a firewall.
Bridge, yeah, he's basically using that guy as a bridge between the AI and his own brain. So if something happens, it's going to pop this guy's head before it gets to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was an actual like full person in there. Well, could have been a cyborg, could be, you know what I mean? There was a body in there.
Makes a little more sense. Thank you. This movie just confused me a lot, but it's still very fucking cool.
Yeah. And I think I was looking it up. I think this actually one of the reasons why this works so very well is that because not only does Masamune Shiro loves to do these philosophicals of what makes a human, but they got Mamoru Oshii to do it as well, and that's also up his wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the director who did Beautiful Dreamer, Urasa Yatsura's second movie's Beautiful Dreamer, and I don't know if you've seen that movie or heard about it, but it's basically Urasa Yatsura is a Rumiko Takahashi person, the person who's made Ranma 1/2, Inuyasha, just those, these fun romance comedies with just very quirky characters. Like, she's known for making these quirky, strange characters, but relatable characters. And he basically took that and created a show where basically the kids have a school festival, and then suddenly they find themselves in a dreamlike state where they're looping the same day. And he create a story about the nature of reality and what makes us and what are dreams and stuff like that, with something that was like, just a kid, kids trying to do a cultural festival. And like, people are like, what the hell is this with Urasa Yatsura? But then they like look at it, it's like, wow, this is actually, very artistic and stuff like that. Like, this is one of the first movies he did. And then that's kind of like when people realized that Oshii had like this direction and look for it. And I think this is why Ghost of the Shell works much better, is because their goals both align. So he has a medium that he can pursue his ideas that work no matter how much he takes off from the original product. It still kind of goes with what he would like to show. Like, even at the end when they're having that kind of like, the puppet master and Makoto are kind of going that back and forth, like, well, what, will I still be me or anything like that? They're talking in front of what is basically like they had that, and the whole fight with the tank and stuff like that, all that machine work and stuff like that. And they're in what used to be a plaza for apparently natural history. They're shooting up the walls that had fossils on it. And there's a genealogy tree of various like species and like at the top is like the Homo sapiens scientific name and stuff like that gets shot up in there, and they're having this talk in front of it. Like, it's all stuff like this wasn't exactly in the comic, but it's all kind of right up both Shiro's alley and Oshii's alley. So it's like a great mesh of like finding a good director to go with the material.
But why did she destroy her body on top of that tank? Was she just trying to get into the tank, essentially?
I think she was just trying to get into it to make sure it didn't move because that's the only way she could stop it was to get in and kill the pilot.
Yeah, I think it was a desperate move where, like, if she didn't get in, she was going to lose. And she pretty much did lose if Bateau hadn't shown up with that cannon.
That would have been it, yeah.
Pressure break.
It is a bit of a running thing with the Major. Like, that happens more than once across different shows.
Okay. And that's a scene, though, when you watch her body just start breaking apart because she's pushing it to its cyborg limits. I was like, ugh.
It's really well animated. I love it.
Yeah.
It's well animated. I'll give it that. I did not love it, but it was well animated.
Also, like the idea of just having a big gun.
Oh, that gun is awesome.
Oh, so like a little note is Shiro is also a little bit of a gun buff. A lot of action manga, sometimes you can tell if they're gun buffs and stuff like that. So he loves making up and talking about that. So sometimes if there's a scene where they're just changing guns, there's probably an actual reason for it. I do like how, like, when she first started to fight the tank, you see her break down the gun, that was probably because she had to change the bullets because she knew that just what she had it set up for when she first pulled it out was not going to do well against a heavily armed tank.
Well, you see her later in the fight before she kind of runs out, or before the gun gets knocked out of her hand or something. Like, she ejects the actual barrel because she shot so much. She's melted the barrel down. She has to switch a new barrel in.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things she grabbed a new barrel for the gun out of that case, and I love that little detail.
No, the one
scene. I wasn't sure what she was doing.
The other thing I like too about guns as well, which is really funny, is the part where he it's a little bit earlier whenever they're going after the terrorist and he has that little submachine gun, and the point is it's supposed to be shooting so fast that it's like pushing him back.
Oh, okay. Because using those.
Yeah, when he takes that stance and he plants his feet, and I think
that's the same thing. Like, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say they've talked like how they enhance the human body to basically to be able to pull not just on semi-automatics, but to be able to pull the trigger faster than a human normally can squeeze a trigger. To have a body that's reinforced to be able to take the muzzle recoil action in the arms and upper body and stuff like that to basically keep your sights without having to move. So, like, yeah, it's just those kinds of little things where it goes further into showing the difference between a simple human and a full cyborg, and just like you're still like, you're still doing these human things, but then you've got your augmented humans.
I think it's also really funny because we're talking about augmented human stuff too. That even though that they have the ability to do this, they're not that different looking. Because I mentioned it in the chat where I was watching this, and I was like, man, I really, really want to play Cyberpunk. But I like the idea how they're just plain looking, but we haven't really gotten to, like, this is made before people were like, yo, wouldn't it be cool if you had like robot arms too?
It is kind of fun. Like sometimes you do see like a few people, like Bato has those eyes, I think, and other people on Section 9, like especially in the TV series, they actually get to go into a little bit. There's like Saito who generally looks like he has an eye patch, but it basically is because that eye is specially made to be for sniping. So like he only uses it when he's behind a gun, and it's just like there are like things to augment the person, but at the same time they still like. It's kind of weird that they still want to keep a human body for things. In the comics, sometimes you have some people who have like a little bit more different things. Like I know there's a couple of times where you kind of see things, I guess, I was going to say that something out of like Battle Angel Alita, but I don't know how that would go over for people. But, where like one of the things has this just giant cybernetic arm attached to their body as just an augmentation, like instead of just having a regular thing. But at the same time, it's like they mentioned that not only is he has that arm, but he also has an enhanced like chassis and stuff like that, because they've pointed out that, yeah, you can have an arm that can maybe like lift 50 tons, but it still has to be anchored to a human body unless you're a full cyborg.
You see, like in Standalone Complex, you see people with like have all guns in their arms and stuff. So you'll see like they have like the lines and stuff where the arm breaks apart. And so you can tell there's something there, but most of the time they do look fairly much like a normal human. And then there's the fact that even androids and just straight up robots that they make are still human liking. Like we were talking about. Like when I mentioned those Catgirl robots, they still make them look like humans because that's the taste. Like we can make anything we want and we still make them human. Well, that's all the at Section 9, like the girls are sitting behind the computer, all of them are
Yeah.
androids. None of them are
Yeah,
real. They're all copied so that, and they all look exactly like each other.
That seems like that makes sense. So I have a random question. Does the show like continue from the movie, or is it its own thing?
Yes.
It's pretty much its own thing.
All right.
As I was talking a little bit in the chat, there's so many parallels and things they take that I kind of want to try and see a way they mesh, but it's more likely that it's just like it is their own thing, like its own timeline, its own kind of thing.
Yeah. Which I mean, the one, like, and I would give them props for this because they could have screwed it up when they find their voice cast, because through this movie and the second movie, like, they find the voice cast for Standalone Complex, and the English dub voice cast is freaking perfect. Like, the voice, her name, Mary Elizabeth McKellen, she voices the Major in Standalone Complex, and she is to the Major what Kevin Conroy is to Batman, as the fact that if I'm reading anything, it's in her voice. She's that iconic to me as the Major.
Did we ever get a follow-up to the Puppet Master after this movie? I watched a little bit of Standalone Complex, but definitely not enough to know the full answer.
So the next movie does take place after this.
I think it's like Ghost in the Shell 2.0 in a sense.
Yes.
So it's like, and that specifically takes after this. And interesting thing is that Basset Hound that kind of pops up in this one, like I actually looked it up because I was curious. That's kind of like a mascot of Oshi's. That's he has a dog called Gabriel that he likes to kind of like put it in as an Easter egg. And in the second movie, they kind of upgraded him to a somewhat character because there's a slight like side thread of Bateau taking care of a Basset Hound that's also named Gabriel. So it's just kind of funny that and I think part of the reason Oshii wanted that he does that is more offset, like no matter how technologically advanced, like the city is or anything like that, there's still these things that are just pure biological, which is, a dog. Like you can have a robot dog, but it's still going to be different from what a dog is.
Cowboy Bebop would have something to say to you about that, because I remember the animals robotic and that. It's been a while.
in my mind, the way the things are, it kind of feels like that dog has a cyber brain version of what there. Like because it seems like they just basically took a corgi, bred it to be extra smart, and then just gave it a cyber brain so it could do anything it wants on the internet.
I mean, I'd like to see what a dog would do on the internet. That would be interesting. Like how to get treats, how to bake for food better. Yeah, that's probably what you'd see. Steal
your credit card and order nothing but snacks.
I don't want to think what my dog's thinking. He's kind of an idiot and he's a little bit gay. But
my dog would have just been food. That's all she cared about, food. I didn't also realize how much this movie inspired Matrix either. That was kind of like the whole opening with all the green. I'm like, hey, I've seen that before. Like,
oh, you want to know what's really fun about that opening? I don't know if it's like the kind of the flashing for you guys. You know how it kind of flash green? That looks really freaking bright in HDR. I had to like close my eyes whenever that came on screen. I have like the 4K HDR version of the movie, and I was like, oh my god, that is so bright. I'm going to go into a seizure.
That reminds me too, since we're talking about it, how did y'all watch this movie? Because I watched this on Prime.
I watched it on Prime also.
Same.
4K Steelbook disc.
I'd watched it on that 1995 DVD I mentioned. It still looks good. I mean, it's not as bright, but it still looks good.
Hey, your version probably didn't come with a commercial midway through like ours did. So hey,
I tried to go on Netflix and use a VPN to watch it in like Japan or elsewhere, and everything, it was all like in Japanese with whatever language and their subtitles. I was like, shit, I can't even outsmart it.
I mean, you could watch it. I mean, it's probably an Internet Archive too, but I don't do.
I mean, there's many ways I could have found that, but
I mean, if I can watch it through one of the streaming services that I pay for, I will do it. It's only when I get real desperate that I go other means.
So just because I was curious, when I pulled out the DVD I had, I took a look at the distributor, and it's a good old Manga Video.
Yeah,
and God, that took me back, because that, back in the days when there was like, especially in the 90s, when there was like 3 or 4 different companies trying there, and then Pioneer became Genion, and Aniplex was out there, and like all these names that, like, if you had been buying DVDs or videos of anime, they sound familiar, but are all gone now because that the market fell out. But apparently, Manga Entertainment is still technically around because it's now owned, well, in part because it had a US department and a UK department. And the US department eventually kind of got bought by Starz and now is owned by Lionsgate. But the UK part is under Crunchyroll.
Of course.
That's
Interesting.
I don't know who published my version because it's I want to say like 2022 or 2023 20th anniversary or 25th anniversary steelbook set. So I don't know who would have done that, but
yeah, I don't know who published it on like the Blu-ray or HDR versions though, because I think they like I know they still use the manga video imprint on some stuff, but I think that's more of just as of kind of like a nostalgia why like yeah, they're the ones who had it first, but now that we own it, we can put it out for them now.
I mean,
and sadly, Aniplex is still
That's how
around.
anime is.
Like you probably depending on when you bought this, you probably paid $30 or $40 just for this DVD.
Oh,
I remember that.
I want to pay the steelbook 4K was like $30.
Yeah, but that's worth it.
That's yeah. I also have the regular Blu-ray up there too because I bought it years ago.
But like back with the old days of buying anime, like I remember I paid $25 for my Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust DVD.
I remember that.
I think it was Babbage. At Southbridge Mall in Milwaukee.
I think he forced me to borrow it, but hey, it was great.
Probably. I still have it, actually. I'm surprised. All the times I moved and all the shit I've lost, I still have it.
Better watch out. Tip's going to throw that away like your dragon shirt.
He doesn't have holes in it.
I've never seen that either.
What, Vampire
So
Hunter
did you
D?
not watch 90s anime, Joe? Did you just skip the 90s?
Yeah, because unlike you guys, I was a child and could not have great access to anime.
Unlike you guys.
Hey, my anime for like the first 20 years was Toonami and Adult Swim. That's the only place I got to watch.
Yeah, if Toonami didn't air it, I didn't see it. That's why I've only seen like
that's where I first watched Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex was Toonami. Same with Cowboy Bebop and Trigun.
Toonami showing us anime was like breath of fresh air for when it happened because like my introduction to anime was like through friends and through fan subs and basically VHS copying and sharing, and this basically meant that we had there was a time when I had to. If I wanted to watch anime, I had to get up like early on Saturday mornings, point the satellite dish to the Sci-Fi Channel, and watch anime and like watch the like Anime Planet tie-in that they would do on Sci-Fi Channel. You know,
they used to do that on a Monday nights too. That's where they first watched.
Yeah, like
Gundam 00.
Like it was
ever
crazy.
On Toonami? I wonder.
Yeah,
like
was the movie.
This movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would bet it was.
They just cut the part out where it was late, but they just cut the part out where she shows her boobs in the beginning, and that's it.
Oh yeah, because that would be terrible.
But she's technically not naked though.
But it's still
like ever.
I mean, it's okay to watch blood in America. It's not okay to see boobies
or badge.
That's definitely not okay. Probably in the end of this movie, since we haven't really talked about the ending yet, she essentially just merges with the puppet master, correct, and becomes one entity.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Yeah. Wasn't likely.
It's like reproducing with an adjacent AI concept. It's really weird concept, but they pull it off.
But does that mean she was even human to begin with? Who knows?
Dun dun dun.
I mean, it all depends. It's just that idea that if you have enough intelligence, you might, even if you're not human, you're still you become a being. So I mean, that's partly how to look at it. Even if you didn't consider her human, she's still a being because she's intelligent.
Did they ever go into like her I'm going to call it the standalone complex backstory? Is that something that's also in the manga?
A little. I'm trying to remember. Not particularly. Like I know they don't talk about in the TV series. They talk about how she had to be cybernized as a kid. She basically has grown up in a cyborg body, which causes a lot of problems because she is a growing human. Her body was like 90% cyborg with there, but it's still a living tissue brain that grows. So the fact that they have to keep growing her body up with her brain and stuff like that, and that is a task that is like not normal and causes a lot of things. And that's not really talked about in the comic, how she's had to do it from a young age. But it is kind of but what is kind of implied is the fact that she is much older than she appears. She's probably over 60, 70 years, actually, despite the fact that, despite what her cyborg body looks like.
Okay. That makes a little more sense. Thank you.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
Standalone Complex does a lot of the same thing the movie does. It takes longer, so they get to explain it better.
Yeah,
they get to go in more depth,
and that makes sense.
I also kind of like how, I don't think they pointed it out, but the fact that her name's Makoto Kusanagi is supposed to be an obvious alias.
Yes.
And in the comics, they flat out tell you that. But I think it's hard to explain how Kusanagi is supposedly, because it ties to an imperial treasure kind of idea and thing in Japan culture. So I think it's kind of like saying, "Hello, I'm John Whitehouse."
Yes.
Okay, or like John Smith, for example.
Well, it's not as common as Smith. It's more of like taking a cultural identity icon kind of thing and using it as your last name.
Yeah, and also Makoto is a unisex name, so it's less like John and more like, I don't know, what's a good unisex name?
Alex.
Yeah. My name's Alex Whitehouse.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you. You're making this movie make a lot more sense in little ways, so thank you. And there's a lot of YouTube videos also that try to explain this movie and kind of really go into it. So there's some interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a fun thing to philosophical wise kind of thing to break down when you ever get the chance. Like if you ever feel like it. I mean, even the name Ghost in the Shell, like the whole Ghost in the Machine idea is like right there and right on the tin, and it's kind of baked in, and it's kind of fun to look at and think about.
I definitely liked it. I definitely so I watched this movie the wrong way. I watched it sitting at a computer. I watched it on my phone and watched it over the course of like 2 days because this is me. And then I was going to watch it again today, but then I went to bed. But so I didn't watch this movie. You're right. This is the kind of movie you sit down in a dark room and watched it on a big screen.
Yeah, if you could get especially if you could watch it in with friends on a couch kind of thing, to make it like an art house kind of movie watching experience kind of thing, it probably would make it feel like a whole lot better, even if you're confused half the way. I think it's as I was thinking, it's kind of like one of those movies that you want to watch as a movie.
Yes, which I did not, but that's normal. But hey, at least it's on Prime. At least I didn't have to buy it or rent it, so that was nice.
It is nice that it's much, much more accessible than it was when it first came out.
Now, if they would only put freaking Standalone Complex out, they're just not on anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
I mean, granted, I own it on Amazon.
Harder.
So it doesn't matter, but
yeah, so it's harder to get it.
It's like 2.0 and the other them's like actual sequels to this. Then
2.0 is an actual sequel. There is an actual comic sequel too, as well. I remember Viz Manga put it out, but I can't remember if it's been collected in anything, and it's a lot different, and I don't think it's the same as the movie, as the 2.0 movie, because the 2.0 movie kind of focuses on Bateau, right? Because I've only seen bits and pieces of it. I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and watch 2.0
yeah,
yet.
I've never seen it either.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. You guys were my best.
Yeah. I'm probably going to dig out the 2.0 comics at some point just to take a look, because it is kind of interesting, because while the move, as far as I know, Innocence kind of follows Bateau, the 2.0 comic does kind of follow the Makoto puppeteer hybrid that basically goes on and what she's basically doing now. And I can remember at some point, she does run into herself. It was she at some point after all this, she does kind of split off to make more children, and so what we thought was the original just Makoto and puppeteer creation is actually just one of the kids, and you meet another one.
Okay,
crazy.
I do look forward to seeing where this all goes. I do look forward to seeing more other Ghost in the Shell content now. You guys got me much more interested than I ever was before. So after this movie,
I think I looked up Innocence last night to see what it was on. I don't think it was on Amazon. I found it on YouTube. It's free on YouTube.
Well,
weird how that happens. How some shit is just on YouTube. It's like, all right. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like the 4K dub version is on YouTube for free.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to check YouTube. Otherwise, you'll be upset because you'll rent it or pay for it. God damn, it's right on YouTube. That's happened.
Oh, I rented Infinity War one night, and then I was like, oh, I forgot that I completely I redeemed my digital code on Amazon, so I had it on Amazon. So and I still rented it on YouTube because I forgot.
Don't worry, they were happy.
They're just shared across both websites.
Feel that.
Anything else to say about this movie? Okay, I'll take that as a no. And before we wrap this up, we have another person jacking in to join us.
Hello, everyone. It is the ghost of Joe Larrey here to bring this shell of a podcast to life.
I was sad that you missed the main recording, but I wanted to make sure that you were still a part of this because I know you're one of the big animated guys in our podcast.
Yes, especially retro anime as this, which it's hard to believe this is 31 years old.
Yeah, it's a little hard to believe.
Yeah. Oh, man. Time flies.
So what's your history with this movie?
So my history with this movie was back in the day. I'm going to make everyone feel real old here. If people remember Suncoast videos.
I do.
Yeah. And for people listening, that was back in the day. That is where you got all your anime. They had all the VHSs. And if you asked, they also had bootleg ones as well. But I remember my dad picked this one up. And I remember the box art of the VHS because nothing encapsulates the 90s like the VHS cover of this movie, which does a terrible job of even showing what the movie's going to be. And I remember he was either asleep or out of the house, and I watched it on my own. As an 8-year-old, I had no idea what was going on. I was bored. I just remembered there was a naked lady in a few scenes, and that was, for the longest time, my most exposure to this movie. And probably back around college, when I was in college, that's when they started showing the TV series on Toonami, and I had rediscovered this and decided to go back and rewatch the movie, and then found out that there was a huge franchise with this thing with multiple movies, TV series, and a manga, which I, at the time, did not realize any of that existed. It kind of led me into diving headfirst into this series.
This had to be a weird movie to watch while you're 8 years old.
Oh, it was. It was very weird because at the time I'd only seen one other anime, which was Vampire Hunter D, which is another anime I should not have watched as an 8-year-old.
No, that's a great movie though. But no,
it's great. Yeah, it's very action packed, and to go from that movie to this movie, yeah, I'm just sitting there like, when are they going to shoot something? When is something going to happen? Hint: it doesn't really happen in this movie.
It's a very strange movie, but really good, just very strange.
It's a movie that has so many layers. Like, you can just watch it as a straight up mystery cop tracking down the hacker. But then if you go back, rewatch it and start listening to like the dialogue and the hints they give out through the series, it's just like there is so much philosophical stuff throughout this movie. It really starts to give you a headache when you start like trying to think of all the different aspects that are incorporated. It's actually kind of amazing, considering this movie's only 80 minutes, how much they cram into this thing.
And it works.
It does. That's the amazing thing. It does work beautifully. Nothing feels like it's there just for the sake of being there. Everything has a purpose. It's like a big puzzle that all the pieces fit perfectly together.
Which honestly surprised me.
Yeah. And I know I kind of joked at the box art about this anime being, 90s, but
it's just boobs.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah, it's,
like,
yeah, where
for boobs and
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like, who it kind of reminds me of? Trinity from The Matrix.
Here's how that happened, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Although, to be fair, they were pretty open that they ripped off Ghost in the Shell.
I mean, when I saw like the text opening with the green text, I'm like, well, that's familiar.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was very obvious they ripped it off.
Yeah. No, but this movie is it's just 90s was such a weird time for animation, especially Japanese animation coming out of the 80s, where they felt like they needed to make a big change with how they were doing it. And apparently the answer was, we're going to get really philosophical, because, I mean, Ghost in the Shell, obviously it's one of those, but you also had Kowlin, and then Neon Genesis was the other big one. So you had this kind of this movement going around where we're going to start doing this more serious type of anime. And Ghost of the Shell was really kind of the catalyst for that.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Yeah. Also, another interesting fact is that this movie was a box office bomb when it came out. Like, it did not do good at all, but somehow through the VHS, it went on to gain its cult status. And in fact, in 1990,
when you sell your VHS for, like $30, you can probably make a profit pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. Surprisingly, in 1996 in America, this was the #1 VHS over the summer. It was the first Japanese anime to ever do that. And this was long before. This was before like Pokemon came over, Dragon Ball came over. This was like one of the first ones to really break through.
Oh, that I didn't know. I'm not surprised, but I did not know that. I I somehow never saw this movie until we did it for the podcast, where I watched it 1.5 times and really did not understand what I watched. I'm surprised too.
Yeah, just given how. It's just when you look at like a list of like anime you need to watch, this is always at the top of the list.
Yes. I just searched animes like to see what came up, like what you need to watch, and yeah, this is one of them.
Yeah.
That's how this ended up on a potential to-do list that I've been sitting on for a little bit. Because I meant to do this last year, but then it didn't work out, and I've been sitting on it planning to do it since November.
Hey, better late than never, right?
Yeah, Akira's another one I need to do still.
Oh, wait. I don't. That's the one I'm thinking of.
The one, the red bike.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've seen it once, but I was like in high school and I was like a freshman, and I was like, what is this crap? I don't remember anything about it at all. I just remember I saw it, and that's all I got.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So it's just one I need to go back to. Ghost in the Shell, no, I'm surprised no one, I mean, I would have watched this if somebody would have handed it to me and said, hey, check this out, and nobody ever did. I never got around to it.
No, once again, that's just so surprising of how much this movie comes up. It's definitely not like a hidden gem at all. This is
no, it's not
very well known. Yeah,
it's just one of those things I never got to.
No,
I'm trying to watch more anime in general. I mean, you made a comment, I think it's been years now, where the show needed more animated episodes, and here you go.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate it. It's definitely sometimes, even popular anime, like I said, well, it's not a cult hit. I think some people maybe take it for granted at times, not realizing how influential this really was.
Oh, like watching this movie, you could see the DNA of it in so many other things. I'm like, oh, it's from that, like just all over the place. You could tell. Yeah. And that's impressive to me, like how much this movie mattered in science fiction, and also just how good science fiction this is.
I love it because it's science fiction, but it's still very grounded. It feels like this. I mean, some of it actually is already happening now. That's the other beautiful thing about this movie. Even though it's so old, it is dealing with topics we are just now getting to in modern times, especially with everything with AI going on right now. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing how much this movie predicted.
It's surprising to me. Like I was not expecting it to be the amount of like how important this movie is watching it. And I was also surprised that somehow I never saw it. So there was that too.
It's just, I mean, it is. And to be fair, like this is not the first cyberpunk anime. And it's very clear too that this thing takes its inspirations from Blade Runner. I mean, the director of this has been very open about that. Yeah. But even though it takes inspiration, it never feels like it's ripping off. It takes that inspiration and then makes it its own. And that's what I think really sets this one apart from other cyberpunk things. It creates its own identity.
It's very much its own fiction. It's just the fact that like how important of a fiction it is what got me.
Yeah.
Because I did not expect that going into this. And also because of, I blame you and Robbie, I pay a lot more attention to animation than I did before. And man, this movie has good animation.
Oh my God, yes it does. This is, I don't know what they were doing in 1995, but man, this is still gorgeous. Like there were some scenes I had to just pause, like the opening scene where she like, it's just her getting out of bed, but the way they have like only her window is the only thing reflecting light, and you just see her silhouette throughout moving around the room. I'm like, that is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And like and I didn't realize until I watched YouTube where it explained like how important that little scene is when you see her apartment is empty, like there's nothing there, just a bed, because she doesn't believe she needs it because she doesn't really consider herself human. Like, there's so much shit that they're trying to tell you in here, and I'm like, props, movie.
Yeah. Yeah, like that scene when she's on the ferry boat and they keep cutting to all like the sections of the city, and it's just like, oh my God, this is beautiful. All the like usually in these animations when you do like background stuff, they're just such afterthoughts. But like every sign is detailed, every person walking is like visibly different. They have facial expressions, and just like even some simple things like the reflection when she's in the like the camo outfit, how like the scenery, reflects off her suit and stuff. It's just like, my God, this is amazing what they did back then.
I was very impressed.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. And like I said, there were a couple scenes where I just had to pause and look at it because I was just like, this is gorgeous.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it, but I enjoyed what I was watching.
Also, I got to give a shout out to the soundtrack as well, because this soundtrack, I may need to pick this up after listening to this.
So have you watched this movie recently, or has it been years?
It's been a decade since I've watched this.
Wow. Okay.
So I've forgotten quite a bit about it. I remember some of the big scenes, like the opening with the assassination, and then the scene with after the whole garbage truck thing where they're chasing the guy. I remember those scenes, but a lot of like the quieter moments I kind of forgot about, and the whole backstory of the bad guy, who really isn't a bad guy.
The puppet master wasn't a bad guy. No, it was more the government was bad.
Oh, geez, the government doing shady stuff. No, never.
Not the government. That's really who the bad guy was.
Yeah.
Because technically, like, the mercenaries she's fighting are because of the government had hired them to steal back the body that they fucked up with and let get out. So technically, it's their fault.
Yeah. And that's another strong part of this. Like, I wouldn't really say any character is really good or bad in this movie. They're all very nuanced.
Yeah, there's not really like villains.
No.
There's the mercenaries that aren't good, that are hired by the government.
Right, but they're mercenaries. They're doing their job. They're nothing personal, no vendetta or anything.
It seemed like one when he was crushing her fucking face that time.
Okay, okay, there's that.
He's like, I'm done with you.
Yeah, so when she's fighting the giant thing, which I'm convinced is from RoboCop.
He looks like it. So yeah.
Yeah.
She did. Yeah. It was interesting. I'm trying to watch more science fiction movies that affected science fiction in general. So
yeah,
I was glad to get this one done and to just realize, like we talked about on in the main recording, but like the guy who has no memory, who thinks he has a wife and daughter, is like, yeah, they deleted your memories. You just have a dog.
Yeah, no, right there, all about. And what I love about that, and the thing with the Japanese government is they're very known for being able to control the flow of information. It's probably one of their strongest aspects, whether that's good or bad.
It ain't good, I'll tell you that.
But just the way that this movie is kind of parodying or satiring it to an extent is very well done. Because once again, it doesn't feel like satire unless you're really paying attention to it. So you can.
Yeah, you wouldn't. It didn't feel like satire at all to me.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know as much about the Japanese government.
Yeah. No, like this movie is very reflective of the state of Japan in the 90s, because Japan in the 90s was not a great place. And this definitely reflects a lot of that, because there was a lot of things were not going well, and there was a lot of people asking existential questions about the purpose of life. And this movie, that is a very clear aspect of this movie.
Yeah, very much so. Also, it's a confusing movie at times, too, because some of the stuff you see is out of order. Like, when she has a dream of how she was created, like, you don't it's just, there's a lot of confusing parts to this movie.
Or the other thing is, like, is that even her memory? Because that's a huge plot point they have, is everything she knows, is she a reliable narrator? She's questioning herself.
So we kind of talked about this in the main recording, but is the show like another retelling of this story, but longer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The TV show is probably closer to the manga than this is. I will say that.
Okay.
The manga is actually kind of comical, and there's really no comical in this movie. This is
there isn't.
Serious drama, yeah.
I didn't mind that, though.
No, I didn't. It fit the tone. The guy had a vision, and the director of this, he is known for directing some weird-ass movies. If anybody interested on HBO Max, go watch Angel's Egg. Come back and tell me if you understand that, and I'm going to call you a liar because nobody knows what's going on in that movie.
I don't think we even talked about the director in the main recording.
Oh yeah, he's known, his movies, they're known for being like, his animation style is known for being very impressive and very detailed, but he gets into a lot of philosophical and open to interpretation stories, so you're kind of always a little confused at the end.
Okay, and he hasn't made a movie since 2019.
No, yeah. Like I said, he's never really was. He kept trying to recapture the magic of this movie, and he just never got that point again.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did Ghost in the Shell too, Innocence. So
yeah, that's a very great movie. Great movie. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's visually better than this one, but the story is. You think Inception's dream within a dream thing is confusing? Boy, oh boy, do I got a movie for you.
Oh, and Ghost in the Shell 2.0 is.
I think that's like that's a remake of this where they CG'd it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah, I don't know why you would cover up any of this animation with this gorgeous.
No, I don't understand either. I mean, it's really good animation. Like, yeah, okay. I never even, I just, since you brought it up and you probably have maybe seen some of these movies. Yeah, I had never heard of any of these movies.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's another like CG series for this that I have not seen yet, which I think is a sequel to the TV series, but I'm not 100% sure.
I can't help you there.
Yeah, I don't know. it just amazes me that the series is still going on. I mean, I'm glad it's still going on, but it's also, in a lot of ways, this is almost like anti-anime, and the fact that it has become so central. Like I said, it's very story driven. It's not actiony. It's not, I mean, yeah, she gets naked a couple times, but it's not like fan service or anything that you're used to from other anime and stuff. I mean, it's pretty, like I said, it's a very, very serious.
Yeah, no, the nudity isn't played just for kicks. It isn't even completely nudity because technically she's still in a suit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those weird situations.
Yeah.
Strange movie.
Yeah, and like I said, we briefly mentioned it, but like this movie deals with the whole concept of AI, like what would happen if AI became sentient, and when can humans become mechanical? Like it asks these questions, and it never really answers it, and I think that's good because it lets people like us have this conversation about what is the meaning of this movie, how do we view it?
Oh yeah, there's so much you can talk about with this film.
Yeah, even
are doing.
And even that ending with it's just like, did they merge? Didn't they merge? I'm not 100% sure. Seems to imply they did, but I took it
as they merged. But
I took it as they merged too. I took it as, and also the idea that she's a kid again being reborn. She's like starting a new life.
Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah, I do have a question. He's like, I bought it on the black market. I'm like, what do you do in your free time?
I mean, I'm not surprised that there are child bodies on the black.
Oh, I'm not surprised either. Yeah, I know, but it's just
doesn't surprise me one bit, that idea. So I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, very strange movie. All right, and then where would you rank this? Shelf, stack, or box?
Oh, this is easily a shelf. Yeah, this is. I know it's a lot of people praise this movie, but it's rightfully earned. It is earned. It's an anime masterpiece. It's one of the essential anime anybody should watch getting into this genre. And it's one that it's a great movie, and it's one of these that you can watch multiple times, and you're gonna get something new every time you watch it because it just has that much going on into it. But it's never boring. It's never feels like work, and it is just gorgeous. Cannot stress that enough. Animation is still beautiful 30 years on.
Yeah, I completely. Well, thank you for joining me, Joe.
Thank you for having me.
And stay tuned for the rest of our rankings. Let's go to shelf, stacker, box, and I'm going to go first. I'm going to put this on the shelf. Even though I didn't understand what I was watching, I still enjoyed it and was still intrigued, and it's very pretty, and it's a very cool movie. Like, I was happy to finally have sat down and be able to say I've seen it. And that's been one of my goals the last couple of years, to watch animes I've never seen before. So I really liked it. Very well done. To go on the shelf. And Joe.
I also put this on the shelf. I can see why people love this movie so much. It even made the full-on girl boss haircut, which is the Makoto Kusanagi cut. So, a lot of culture inferences, but yeah, I liked it. It's pretty good. And plus, I'm always in the mood for more cyberpunk stuff too as well. So totally putting this on the shelf.
And Rich.
I enjoyed my time with it again and again to dive deeper into the lore and understand things I might have missed, back in the day. And it was nice to see that 90s anime art style. It reminded me of the good old days with Ninja Scroll, and I'll have to watch that again. If Mike, if you haven't seen that, or
never
even
seen
Joe,
it.
if you haven't seen that,
I've seen that. That's good.
You have? Oh, okay.
Ninja Scroll's fun.
Never seen it. I need to.
Madhouse is a very distinct art style. They're the folks who did the Aeon Flux cartoon eventually.
I just watched that movie, the live action movie, like 2 weeks ago.
Also, I think Ninja Scroll was where me and my friends came up with the term "a spray of ninjas."
That's a good one.
So aside from that, it made me want to play some, like Joe was saying earlier, some cyberpunk or getting this stuff like that. So it was nice. I could see again why it's so legendary, why people love it so much, and that's something I'll put on the shelf for sure.
All right. And John.
I'll put it on the shelf. I enjoyed it a lot more this time than I did in my original viewing of it back 10+ years ago. Yeah, it's really interesting movie just to see. It's especially kind of like what they did back in the 90s and kind of how we've regressed, in my opinion, in some ways. Yeah, it's a really good movie. Still think there are some better standalone complex properties out there, but this one's definitely really good.
And Jordan.
Yeah, so when I first offered to dinner, I was worried that I had packed this away somewhere, but no, it's still on my shelf. It just was like a couple of things on there. And honestly, this is the type of movie that no matter where I move or something like that, I want to keep it with my stacks of DVDs and anime and stuff like that. This is like, yeah, I have copies of Standalone Complex and some other stuff, but I want to keep this with it too, because this is just a great comparison. This is a great way. Like, you show this to someone, and if they like it, then you can say, well, there's other stuff that's you can, if you were to like the themes, the stuff, you want more cyberpunk, there's more to this, like this is and it's also like a great nostalgia trip for like you were saying about 90s anime and stuff like that, and just hits all kinds of buttons. So yeah, I definitely want to keep this around.
All right. Well, I was surprised. I was happy a bunch of people signed up. At first, I thought it was just be me and the Joes, with the other Joe you already heard by now at this point. But like, I was surprised. I was like, oh, it's just one of those random things I needed. I said I was gonna do one week, like, oh, I got extra time. I'll see if Joe's free, and then Joe was not free, and then I just been like, I gotta get this done randomly.
I've had a big month.
Oh, it was months ago actually when I first brought it up, but you had a lot going on. Third shift is evil. I don't know how people do it. I can't wait till you text me and say, hey, I'm off third shift. I'm looking forward to that text.
Yeah, I am too. Don't worry.
I know. All right. I think we should just go to plugs then. And Jordan, do you have anything to plug?
Actually, not much. I'm still kind of floating in ether. I still help around when I can. Keep an eye out and help friends do stuff. This is probably going to go out before the March Madness that Kendall's planning, isn't it?
This goes out April.
Oh, okay. So then...
no, it shouldn't.
Yeah, so by the time this airs, that would have already been out. But yeah, sometimes I help Kendall, and he's doing a March Madness with Pokemon. So if you haven't listened to that and you like Pokemon, look up his stuff on, what is it, Kindle.Ninja, I think is one of the simplest. Kindlecast.Ninja is like the easiest way to find almost all of his stuff.
Which I don't understand what that is exactly, or how he has it. When I asked him once, how does it work? He's like, it's held together with paper clips and bubble gum. I'm like, that doesn't answer my question, but all right.
No, that sounded, as a guy that works IT, that makes perfect sense. I understand what he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like something like it was like Web.1, like 1.0, and he's just grandfathered in ever since.
Yeah. It's odd, but okay. All right. And then if you enjoyed this episode, over 900 other episodes of this podcast. We do movies, TV shows, video games, comics, all sorts of content. If you want to hear the rest of our... Wait, we're not going to go. So if you want to hear the rest of our content, go on Podbean. You'll find everything on there. If you want to support the show, we do a Patreon. Little Dog can vote in our Patreon poll. We have 1 to 2 polls a month, so definitely check that out. If you donate $10 or more, I will plug your podcast or your YouTube, whatever it is that you do. Every episode I make during that month, I make a shit ton, so check that out. And like these lovely people, Phoebe Stanton, the Let's Play Princess on YouTube and Twitch, and also check out her podcast, Nerds of Broadcast. And make sure you also check out Zach's podcast, absolutely the best podcast of work in progress. Talk about the MC movies, and they're currently doing the Alien Predator franchise. And also check out A Gamer Looks at 40 of Bill Tucker and his new podcast, Carrying My Cross. And go and get a shout out my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Elena at Hell Hassery. Follow her on TikTok and Instagram. And please join our Discord. If you want to be in the show, once just things for the show, join the Discord. It's free. You'll see a link in the show notes. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, audio only, wherever you get. And then rate and review wherever you get your podcast. That's everything I need to say, so we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Nara.